the US Navy accidentally released unredacted files that detailed mysterious aircrafts around their warships. The files were immediately deleted though. Over 60 pages were uploaded online by the Navy, and they were under the file name of proposed redaction. Many suggested that the unaltered documents were not meant to be released online, with some users saying that a military official accidentally uploaded the wrong documents. Usually when these types of documents are released, the names of places and people are redacted, which hides their identity along with the location of the sightings. However, these documents clearly outline the details of those involved, even going as far as listing names. One of the documents went into detail about how a Navy ship encountered unknown drones. Those who have been looking into this topic have said the Navy doesn't know what these objects are, with naval officials coming forward in recent years and saying that this isn't an odd occurrence, and that while they were in the Navy they too encountered mysterious crafts above naval ships. One user said the following: "The Navy's counter-narrative on this has been, oh, it's just some random drones from a random cargo ship. So they're telling us that 100 random drones from an unknown source, that we didn't follow up on or punish for impinging on our airspace, are just able to swarm our ships, and we didn't pursue them because we didn't think it was necessary. Even if the drones were a civilian prank and not the Chinese or Russian, this would still be a huge deal. The frantic attempts to divert attention from the Navy leakers involved shows how desperate the DoD is to keep public eyes off this issue. It's starting to get comical just how many straws they'll grasp at to keep these incidents, especially nautical aircraft incidents, under wraps. Just imagine hundreds of sailors have a full-on encounter. Their lives are changed forever. They know something is out there, and it's not any technology humans are capable of. And the Navy really actually thinks they can swear every one of these people to secrecy, and keep doing so indefinitely every time such an incident happens. It's wild. The Navy has struggled for years to explain away these events." Another user said the following: "Do people really think that the Navy accidentally released these documents? Don't people think it's a bit of a coincidence that the Navy has been talking about these topics, and then they just happen to dump a load of documents going into detail about them? I don't believe it. You don't just accidentally release this type of information." One document goes into detail about how these drones would come into close contact with the ships, outlining that the mysterious crafts would come within 500 feet. Those on the ship would attempt to communicate with these drones, but they said that no communication was made, and some of them would swoop over the ships and buzz them. As of right now, there's no mention of the warships firing back, or trying to engage with them. Another user said this: "One thing that many people aren't talking about is that if these are advanced drones, they would raise just as many questions as it would answer. Who owns these things? How are they so advanced? Where's their propulsion system? How are they able to travel at the speeds they do? And how do they descend so quickly? This doesn't answer anything and just adds to the mystery." One of the documents reads as follows: "Hazard pilot entered W72 to perform a currency flight. Upon check-in, hazard pilot was told that the controlling agency that there was no traffic in the area. Shortly after check-in, hazard pilot detected a radar track of his nose at 12,000, travelling at Mach 01. Shortly after detecting the radar track, hazard pilot was able to visually acquire a small aircraft. The aircraft had an approximately 5-foot wingspan and was coloured white with no other distinguishable features. Due to the small size, the aircraft was determined to be an unmanned aircraft. The hazard pilot tracked the UAS for approximately 1 hour and relayed position data to the controlling agency. Surface traffic was light with only a single stationary commercial fishing trawler and a single unidentified US Navy vessel travelling south in the vicinity of the HUAS location. At no point in the flight did the controlling facility see a radar return or a squawk that correlated with the HUAS. Post-flight, the controlling agency contacted numerous local operators, but none claimed knowledge of the unmanned aerial vehicle. Additionally, the identity of the naval vessel in the vicinity was undetermined. With the increased prevalence of unmanned aerial crafts, the mid-air potential between manned and unmanned aircraft is a growing concern. In many ways, unidentified aircrafts pose a greater mid-air risk than manned aircrafts. They are often less visually significant and less radar apparent than manned aircrafts. Additionally, they may not be squawking, and typically have less SA to the aircraft in their vicinity than manned aircrafts. The US Navy needs to manage this hazard before we're faced with a mishap. Scientists and researchers have been open to the idea that our existence is a simulated reality. Scientific American recently said that there's a 50-50 chance that we're living in a simulation. Elon Musk is someone who's been vocal about this topic, and how we could find out whether we are part of a simulation. Elon was asked if an advanced civilization could create a simulation, saying the following: "I thought about this a lot. I think the strongest argument for us being in a simulation is the following, that 40 years ago we had basic games, and now we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. And we also have virtual reality and augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become virtually indistinguishable from reality. Even if that advancement drops massively from what it is now, it still shows the incredible trajectory that we've made. So given that we're on this trajectory to have games that are virtually indistinguishable from reality, and those games could be played on any set-top box or PC, and there would be billions of these computers and set-top boxes, it would seem to follow that the odds that we are in a base reality is 1 in a billion. That seems to be what it suggests, and we should hope that that's true, because otherwise, if civilization stops advancing, then that may be due to some event that erases civilization. So maybe we should hope that this is a simulation, otherwise we're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, or civilization will cease to exist. That's the two options. Neil deGrasse Tyson also thinks there's a very high chance that the universe is just a simulation. He said the following: "At the moment I'm waiting for someone to convince me that we're not living in a simulation, and as of right now the arguments are quite convincing to me, and most of the best arguments are traceable to a guy named Nick Bostrom, a philosopher at the University of Oxford. Here's the argument. Our computer power is rapidly growing. We create simulations of worlds. We have video games of characters that are inside the video games. Imagine a day where you can simulate a world so perfectly with humans, so well that you can recreate every single thought you've had. But now you're in a simulation in the computer, including the perception of free will." MIT researcher Rizan Verk said that they've researched the topic extensively, and said that he's looked at how long it would take humans to construct their own simulation of reality. He said the following: "The truth is that there's much we simply don't understand about our reality, and I think it's more likely than not that we're in some kind of simulated universe. Now it's a much more sophisticated video game than the games we produce. Just like today, World of Warcraft and Fortnite are way more sophisticated than Pac-Man or Space Invaders. I think there's a very good chance that we are in fact living in a simulation, though we can't say with 100% confidence, but there's plenty of evidence that points in that direction." He further added that we're either all AI in a simulation that's running on someone's computer, or we're playable characters. He said that conscious things that exist outside the simulation and we inhabit characters, just like you might take on the character of an elf or a dwarf in a fantasy RPG. This is a debate that's still ongoing, with researchers from both sides proposing new and exciting theories. Interestingly, not too long ago, Neuralink, a company funded by Elon Musk that aims to put brain chips inside of people, announced that they think it's possible that they could create a novel extinct species of dinosaur, saying that it could be done within just 15 years. Max Hodak, one of its co-founders, said that he thinks they could build Jurassic Park. Max said the following: "We could possibly build Jurassic Park if we wanted to. It wouldn't be genetically authentic dinosaurs, but maybe 15 years of breeding plus engineering to get super extinct novel species. Biodiversity is definitely valuable. Conservation is important and makes sense. But why do we stop there? Why don't we more intentionally try to generate novel diversity? Although dinosaurs as we know it have gone extinct, scientists the world over have proposed theories to bring them back. So the question on many people's mind is, can we actually do this? Scientists say that theoretically, yes, we can. Interestingly, going back a few years ago, biologists took it upon themselves to carry out a test which would show them what a chicken and a dinosaur hybrid would look like. This is the first step in understanding how we could create a 21st century dinosaur and what that creature would look like. The scientists working on the project were able to isolate clusters of genes that aid in facial development. The team was then able to discover a way of stopping them in the chicken embryos, and after doing this they were left with an animal that looked very similar to what a velociraptor would have looked like. The lead author of the study, Bart Anjar-Ballah, from the University of Yale, said the following: "We had not set out to create a dinosaur chicken. When examining an important evolutionary transformation, we wanted to find out about the underlying process. The beak is the part of the avian skeleton that had most extensively and radically diversified. We wanted to find out if the beak was functional. Not everyone has got on board with this idea though, and have said that we should leave dinosaurs in the past. Many though like the idea of bringing dinosaurs back to life, and have said they would love to see something that resembles a dinosaur be brought back to life within their lifetime. So do you think we're living in a simulation? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.